Hi everyone, it's Marcy here from Stampin' with Marcy. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Canada, and I sell all of the fabulous Stampin' Up! Products that I share with you. Thank you so much for joining me today and taking a few moments out of your day for a little crafty inspiration. Happy Good Friday, everybody. It is Friday, April 10th, a holy day for a lot of people around the world. So it is here in Canada. Things are closed today as well as on Sunday, Easter Sunday. I hope you've had some time to spend with your family today and got some quality time in. Today I want to play with some of the, well, actually all of the retiring colors, the 2018 to 2020 in colors. So I have created something that uses all of the colors. I want to say goodbye to them. They will be retiring. I've said this before, so I thought today I would create a card showing you all of the colors. Yes, it is a very bright and colorful card. When you come by, please say hello. Let me know where you're watching from. Sharing is caring. Please share my video. And if you're watching the replay on YouTube, please click that subscribe button below as well as the notification bell so that you don't miss any future videos from me. So I'm going to cover you up so that when we flip you around, you don't see my dirty windows. I haven't cleaned them yet. I just noticed they are a mess. So hold on just one moment while we cover you up as best as I can. Hello, Chris. How are you? Oh, and I think I need to oil my joints on my Archon here because, oh my goodness, it is creaky. All right, so let's, oh, you're staring at my ceiling. All right, let's bring you forward now carefully. And I think we need to come down just a smidge more. You're not coming up on my iPad, so hold on just one moment. Let's see, bring you up on my iPad here and share you. Oh, it does not want to let me share today. Okay, let's just take a moment to get this going here. Today is April 10th. It is the last day to sign up for the April paper pumpkin. So be sure to do that if you're wanting in on that fabulous My Wonderful Family kit. Thank you, Chris, as well as don't forget everybody that has purchased their kit from me, you must be in Canada. I'm going to be doing a paper pumpkin virtual party once everybody has their kit on my Stampin' with Marcy Stampers group, and I'm going to have some fun giveaway prizes for those that have purchased from me. Anybody can watch and take part, but you can only win if you have purchased the kit from me. So that is that. Okay, now these are the colors. Okay, so we're going to be using Night of Navy as well as Pool Party. And then these are our retiring in colors. So you've got Call Me Clover, Pineapple Punch, Lovely Lipstick, Grapefruit Grove, and Blueberry Bushel. So I have a blog post up that will be published as soon as I am done here and insert my video into it. So all of the measurements will be there. So we are using the Friend Like You bundle with the Friendly Silhouette dies. This can be found in the annual catalog. So the Friendly Silhouette dies, they are the one we're going to be using. These are border dies. So meaning that they don't cut out past this here. So you can make your the border where it's going to be. You can have a piece of cardstock that wide if you choose. And I am using the Fluid 100 watercolor paper. And let me show you. This is the card that I came up with. Now, can you see that glorious shimmery wink of Stella? Oh, I love that stuff. So this is the watercolor paper, and I have watercolored all of this. Hello, Tammy. How are you feeling? And then, of course, we have to do the inside. So I'm using my Stamparatus this evening as well because I have sponged the background here, and I want to make sure that my sentiment is really nice and dark. So the Stamparatus is perfect for that. Hello, Jeannie. How are you? As well, the flowers on this are all separate, as you can see, and I colored them in with my in color Stampin' Write markers. So when you're coloring on photopolymer with markers, you absolutely have to go over it a few times to get the darkness of the colors. So your Stamparatus is perfect for that as well. So this is the card, and let's get started. So first off, I have already die cut out my little dragonflies. There's two, the stamp has 2 dragonflies, so I've done it twice. And because if you can see on my card here, because I have sponged the background, I didn't want the edge of it, the dragonfly, I didn't want that white. So what I did was I just took the extra ink that was on my sponge with the pool party, and just on a scrap piece of paper of Whisper White, I sponged some more on here, and then stamped my dragonflies in the Night of Navy, and then die cut them out. I did that twice so that I could have 3 for the front of the card and 1 for the inside of the card. Okay, so first off, let's get my die here. So the Fluid 100 watercolor paper comes, it's a sheet that they're 5 by 7. So I've cut that in half so that that would give me the 2. And as you can see, so if I bring that all the way to the top, that's going to give me that little border here that I have on my card here. So I'm just going to place it on my magnetic platform, making sure, turning it this way so that I can make sure that it is fairly straight. I want this to be equal distance all the way. Well, thank you. And making sure that my edges have not gone over. And I'm just going to off camera here so that I don't jiggle you too awful much. And I think I have it that my Stamparatus will clear my camera mount. So I'm going to go over and back. And I always, with intricate dies, before I pull it off, I always flip it over to make sure that I see that it has cut through all the way, so that if it hasn't, I can easily flip it back over and run it through again. Okay, so let's just get this out of the way. Now you can see that, as I had said, it does not, see how it does not cut that bottom there. So I'm just going to take my snips and go and snip that. And then very carefully remove all of this. We don't want to rip anything, so yeah, I looked through all of my stamps to see what I had that would I would be able to showcase all of the beautiful retiring in colors. So once the retiring list comes out from Stampin' Up! Towards the end of the month is when the in-color re-inkers and accessories like any of your ribbons and stuff like that that coordinate, they generally, the ink pads and re-inkers sell out fast. So this is, I've got all my re-inkers here. I always purchase the ink refills at the same time as the ink pads, because you can do so much with an ink refill. I call them re-inkers, but the technical is ink refill. Okay, so we've got this pulled out, and I've got it on my silicone craft sheet so that I can contain my watery mess here. And a lot of people like to just squeeze the lid to get the ink on the top of the lid. If you don't wipe the water off of the top of the lid when you've been watercoloring with it, you run the risk, if you close it up, of getting your ink pad contaminated with the water. So I just take a clear block and let me slide that closed, and I just take a clear block, pick up my ink just like that, and then this is my ink palette here. I have a aqua painter. It's just filled with water, and I am going to just squeeze a bit. That's a little bit more than a bit. I'm going to bring I've got a cloth over here just to help absorb some of that. I just filled this because I had used it up earlier today when I was creating the card. So I'm just going to roughly, just very quickly cover the bottom. So this is all my ground and grass. And then the stems. So this does take a smidge more time. I asked my family to have a movie picked out for 8 o'clock tonight for when I'm done. We can sit and watch a movie together. Have you guys been watching a lot of TV? Brad and I finished season 2 of Jack Ryan last night. So it took us a week and a bit to watch both seasons. We really enjoyed that. That's on Amazon Prime. So I'm leaving the little balls here at the end as I'm assuming that they're going to be a flower head. And I'm just going through and putting down my first coat just to get it covered. Being careful not to Go to the top. And then you can go in afterwards and darken it up anywhere that you want. Oh, and I just touched right there. So what I'm going to do before that dries on there, I'm just cleaning off my brush, and I'm just taking and erasing that color with that clean brush, getting that green off of there. All right. We had snow here this morning. It's crazy spring weather. It was, 17 degrees 2 days ago. And today it was crazy windy, and the ground was completely covered with snow. Mother Nature does not know which season she wants to be in right now. And I'm not looking up at comments at the moment because I'm trying to not get the ink on my flower heads. This one is got to be moved over just slightly, so I'm just taking my thumb and pulling that out of my way. Okay, almost done this first coat before we move on to our other colors. So these are very bright and primary colors to me. So I'm wondering what Stampin' Up! Is going to replace them with. I know the one new color is Bumblebee, because the Ornate Garden Suite, the Designer Series paper, on the back of the Designer Series paper, it has the list of the colors that are in it. So it clearly lists that Bumblebee is one of the colors. So we know that is one of the new in colors. But other than that, and I would say it's a cross between Crushed Curry and Daffodil. It's not as dark as Crushed Curry. It's not bright like Daffodil. So I look forward to being able to see what the color looks like. The ink pad and the cardstock. So I'm just going in here and there, darkening up some areas. You can go as light or as dark as you want. There's no right way or wrong way. It's your creation. Okay. I think that's good. So I'm just going to clean that off, and the easy way to clean this is just take it on my rag and wipe it off, and then I'll run it under the sink later to get any of the excess off of that. Okay. Now I've got my other little blocks here ready to go. Move this out of the way. Close my green Claw Me Clover up so I don't end up putting my hand in it. I'm going to lose my little dragonflies here. Gotta scooch them out of the way. Okay, so we've got Pineapple Punch. Lovely Lipstick. Grapefruit Grove. Hi Jay, hi Roz. Yes, coloring is so relaxing. Hi Lorraine. Okay, and then Blueberry Bushel. And then because I had one more flower that I didn't want to have the same color, so what I did is, you can see here, these flowers here, I created my own purple by taking a clear block and one little drop of Blueberry Bushel and one little drop of, maybe two to make it a little less vibrant, of the lovely lipstick, and that is going to create my purple. So that all of the colors on my flowers are in fact the in colors. I've just used the two of them to create my own color. All right, so I'm just making sure that all of that green is off of my aqua painter here, and I'm just going to pick up and color in my flowers. Now you could let this dry and then come in with another layer of color, but I am just doing the one, and right here, and this one here, although I believe this gets cut off. All right, wiping it off. Then coming in with my Blueberry Bushel. And these to me would be like a delphinium or a lupin. That's why I chose the blue for these. And this one here. Okay, clean you off and come in with the next color, which is the lovely lipstick. Such a bright and vibrant color. This is taking more time than normal for my lives, but they can't all be really fast half-hour ones. Sometimes you do need to take just a bit more time. And I wanted to show you how quick and easy, really, it can be for coloring. And this one here. And this will dry fairly quickly because of the texture of this cardstock. It's meant to absorb and hold a lot of water. That's why it's perfect for watercoloring. All right, and now we're coming in with our Grapefruit Grove. I would have to say, when they first came out, I used Grapefruit Grove the most. But then I used quite a bit of Blueberry Bushel. All right, and then we're now going to mix our red and blue here to get our purple. And I thought, too, this being a purple, the shape of it kind of reminds me of a thistle. And of course, the more blue you would add, it would give it a deeper color. The more red, a little bit lighter. Okay, our flowers here are done. So let's just wipe our blocks, move them to the side so that I don't make a mess with them. Get that out of the way. See, look at my fingers now. They are a mess. But that just means I've had some fun. Okay, so as you can see, now if you turn it over, you can see the green has come through, but you can see mostly it hasn't warped the paper or anything. So now I'm just going to take a clean cloth and wipe this off and flip it over. I'm going to set this aside for now. And I'm going to bring in my Whisper White cardstock. This is 4 by 5 1/4. But like I said, you'll be able to find the measurements over on my blog about half hour after I'm done here. So I'm just going to cover the entire cardstock. So was everybody supposed to have big family plans for this weekend? This was supposed to be the Masters golf weekend. We were having my side of the family here on Sunday for Masters Sunday, as well as Easter dinner. But now it's just the 4 of us. And I believe I'm making macaroni and cheese, homemade mac and cheese. we have a vegetarian in our house. So rather than make 2 meals, let's just do 1, make it easy. I'm trying to get it fairly thick on here because I have another little trick I want to show you with my aqua painter. And the more color you have on here, the better. So this is my sky, the background. All right, so set this aside for a moment. So now I am going to take my aqua painter. I've cleaned it, it's stained, but I have cleaned it. So I'm just going to take it and my bone folder, and I'm going to give it a little splatter. Now, I don't know if you can, the camera's going to pick that up. And as the water dries, you'll be able to see the little, it lifts the color to give it that little, this one's completely dry, so you can see those whitish spots. That was done with the splattering of the aqua painter. So it's just a little bit of water splattered across, but it gives it that kind of cool effect. So I just want to give it a little bit more. And then I'm going to come in with my Wink of Stella and holding it fairly close because I want some big droplets on here. Coming down a bit so that it's in between where the flowers. Cannot have too much of this glorious stuff in my opinion. So there we have all of that gorgeous Wink of Stella, and then as the water is drying, those white dots are coming up as well. So now we're going to set this aside for a moment so they both have time to dry. And I'm going to, this is the inside of my card here. So I want to mimic kind of the inside to the outside. So I am just going to take, without adding any more ink to my sponge dauber, and I'm just going to go to this side here just to get that little hint of color there, so it's not the stark white. And then close up my Wink of Stella for the moment. Close that up. I'm going to bring in my paper pierce mat. I need my flower, the grass and the stems. Hi Karen, how are you? You have Editarians in your house? Okay, so I'm using my Call Me Clover, and I want to bring this right down to the bottom of the cardstock so it's not floating too awful much. I think I might be a little high. No, it's okay. You want it down as far as possible so it's not floating like I said. And then close that up. And let's bring in our Stamparatus. Move that to the side. Where's my stamp set up here? Okay, so now I am going to put my magnets. Make sure there's no fuzzies on that. And yes, I can clear it. All right, so now I'm just going to lay this over top where the flower blooms would be. Close my door, pick it up. All right, so now I'm going to bring in my markers. So the long are the blueberry bushel. Coloring on the side of the marker so that I'm not mushing that end. And then these are just going to be the lovely lipstick. And my Grapefruit Grove. This color you really have to do a couple times. I found that it really did not show up very well at all. All right, and then close the door. Give it a press. Open it up. And you can see how they're watery looking. Bring that up. So you want to be able to do that a second time. So that's why the Stamparatus, you would not be able to line that up very well without it to give it that second coat to make those flowers that little bit more vibrant. So you could go over these as many times as you wanted. The more times you go over, the darker they get. All right, flip that over. Give it a press. And there, that is so much better, as you can see. Okay, so move that to the side, and this should be dry, so we're going to bring that in now, and I'm going to line that up. Putting, to be able to figure out where I'm going to be putting my sentiment, I want to just put my die cut down. Okay. And I don't have a dry cloth, so I'm just going to use my hands and wipe them on my pants. All right. So then I'm going to take and before I put my move that to the side, put that there. Now I'm going to have to stand up to make sure that my sentiment is straight. Then we're going to close the door, pick it up. And sometimes with photopolymer, I find that before it gets that layer of ink, it's going to stick. So I'm going to take my bone folder and slide it under to hold that cardstock down, because if it lifts it up, it can take it right out of its position. So that just easily holds that cardstock down. Open up my Night of Navy. I thought black would be too harsh, so that's why I chose the Night of Navy, so that it would be a nice deep color but fairly neutral without being super harsh. So you can see that my color there is not quite solid, so that's why I want to do it with my Stamparatus here, so that I can come in as many times as I need to make it a nice, deep, vibrant, solid color. Oh, and I've got, there's a hair on there. There it is. All right. And I think I want to do that one more time, because my LI there in the like is maybe not as deep as I would like. There we go. So we've got a nice, vibrant Night of Navy there. All right, so let's move you off to the side, move you out of the way, and now we're going to adhere. Let's close this up. All right, so now I'm going to take my liquid glue and just putting a little bit here and there. All right. So I'm lining it up on the very edge here of this side at the bottom, all the way over, and pressing down to make sure that I'm all the way at the bottom there. And then I'm just going to take my snips. Hi Melissa, how are you? And snip that little flower off. So there we have the card front. All right, so just give that a press, because I've placed a few dabs of my liquid glue here. And then we're going to adhere this. To here. And I think the Night of Navy and the Pool Party really set off those colors. And then our base. Oh, we can't, I've got to get my twine around first. So I just want to fold and burnish. Put the lid on this. So we're going to use some linen thread, and because it has that little bit of crease from being around that cardboard, taking the heat of my hand and just running that down. I'm just going to give it a little snail here and a little snail here. And I'm going to, oh, that's a little high. I want it at the grass line. So 1, 2, snip that off, and then we're going to make a double bow. So let's get some more straightened out here. All right, so that looks like that should be good. So all I'm doing is I have taken a length of my twine and I've folded it in half, and I'm just continuing with the heat of my hand to run it down so that it smooths that out. Snip where I folded it in half, 1 loop, holding, wrap it around, grab the ends and tug, holding your center and making sure that you're pulling both so that you're not getting it out of whack, your bow here, so that, because you want both loops to be the exact same size, so you have to hold the center and pull tightly, evenly with both. Okay, give it a little tug to tighten that up. All right, so now let's glue our card front. Give it a press. All right, and we are not done yet. We still have to color our dragonfly's wings, and then we want to snip our tails of our bow, and glue dots are here. Take a glue dot, roll it, and I want my bow to be right there. And just take that bow and stick it on there. I think that's okay that it comes off a little bit. Let's take our insert, a little bit of glue, okay, so we're going to take our Wink of Stella, and when I see dragonflies in our yard, their wings kind of sparkle. So I'm just going over all of the wings here with a little bit of glitter. And because your Wink of Stella is going to pick up some of that ink, you can see the tip is got that little bit of Night of Navy, so just wipe it off to get rid of that. All right, so now this is where the other end of your take your pick comes in very handy, because I've already got the Wink of Stella on there. So I am going to have one of, pull this back up into view. Because these are small, I don't want to get glue all over my hands. So I am going to take my glue and I'm going to put, I want one of my dragonflies here. I want one coming from down here and one over here. So then I'm going to take my take your pick tool on the end where I don't have the wink of Stella. And there he is now. Oh, no, he's not. He flipped right off. Let's try that again. He's on there. Oh, and there's Marshall. Okay. And then we've got this little guy here coming up from the flowers. And then this little guy's coming over here. They kind of swarm all over in my yard around the flowers and that. So, and then we want to make the inside as pretty as the outside. So, let's see, how did I have him on here? I had him coming from the top, so we'll have right there. See, it's just a teeny tiny, look at how little that dot of glue is. Very tiny. You don't need a lot. And he is coming in to check out those flowers. And there you have a pretty card that uses all of the retiring in colors. So here is my original, and here's the one I created with you tonight. So this one here, I'm a little lower, but it looks just as good. Hi, Marilyn, how are you? So let's just move this over just a bit. So I hope you liked today's project. I hope you give it a try with some watercoloring and try my trick with the aqua painter to get those little white splatters. It just adds that other dimension to your card. Thank you, Sharon. I wanted to do a fancy fold, but I've had headache for 2 days now. I made the mistake of watching the news and it got me all stressed out and it brought on a migraine and I just couldn't wrap my head around doing a fancy fold. So, oh, Tammy, you overthink your bows. And as my mother always used to say, it's all in the way you hold your tongue. It's, I don't overthink it. I just do it. So I've never had a problem tying bows. What I am going to have a problem is getting this ink off my fingers. But, oh well. Anyway, it doesn't matter about the size of your hands. It's practice. The more you do it, the more you do anything, the better you get at it. Nobody starts out being really great at anything. It takes practice. So that's my suggestion to you, is to practice. So thank you so much for stopping by today. I hope you enjoyed that this card. I chose this set too because it's not on back order. It's in the annual catalog and it is available. It has some great sentiments, and I love this cattail here, and then of course the palm trees, and there's my little dragonflies. And then the stamp set has these palm trees as well as the cattails, and the sentiments are really, really great. Yes, ink on the fingers is a sign of a very good day. I wanted to play with the pigment sprinkles, but I haven't played with them in a while, but they are really messy, so I'll have to work up to that. I have to be in the right mind to be able to make that kind of a mess. So that is all for me. I'm going to go head upstairs with my laptop to download this and hope that my family has chosen a movie for us to enjoy together. So remember, these ink in colors, they are going away very soon. So if you are liking any of them, if you have any of the ink pads, I highly suggest you get the re-inkers so that you've got your color for years to come, as well as stock up some of the cardstock and the ribbon. And of course, I love the markers. You saw how I used the markers for coloring on the inside. Yeah, very, very handy. So that is all. I will see you on Monday. Happy Easter, everybody. I hope you have a fabulous weekend. And if you need anything, just give me a holler. And remember, once again, today is the last day to sign up for the April Paper Pumpkin. I can up my subscription if you're local and want me to just add a kit on for you. That is easy peasy. So, thanks so much, and I will see you on Monday. Happy Easter, everybody.